Hi everybody, this is Avrohom Czapnik from the Jewish Learning Exchange. I hope you and yours are well. This week's Torah portion is Parshat Va'era, the second portion in Chumash Shemais, the book of Exodus. And in it teaches us an important hidden lesson about an important character trait that we need to develop within ourselves. The portion has 7 out of the 10 plagues that God afflicted onto the Jewish people. And the first 2 were dam and tzvardeya, blood where the water for the Egyptians turned into blood, and frogs, where the frogs swarmed all of Egypt except for the Jewish people. And those 2 plagues, Moshe did not hit the water for. Aaron did it because Moshe owed the water a favor. He had to recognize the good that the water had done for him when he was a baby. 80 years before, he was placed in a basket, and the water didn't flood his basket and didn't overturn it. So to show gratitude, he did not hit the water for the plague of blood or the plague of frogs, both which came from the water. So a 7-year-old many years ago asked me an interesting question. He said, Rabbi, I don't understand. By not hitting it by the blood, he paid the water back. He was gracious and he showed gratitude. Now that he paid that back, why didn't he do it by the second makkah, by the second plague? And the answer is a very important one. If, let's say, a person's in dire straits and he needs money desperately, and someone lends him the $10,000, he pays his rent and he gets back on his feet, and eventually he pays back the loan. So has he paid back the loan? Yes, he has paid back the loan, but the gratitude, that lasts forever. So Moshe didn't hit the water, not once, but not twice, because he owed the water gratitude. And gratitude is not a one-time payback. It's a constant. So that's lesson number 1, to remember that we have to be grateful for everything and any person that has been gracious or helped us. Number 2, it doesn't make a difference if the person or the item needs the gratitude or wants the gratitude. The water doesn't care, but it changes us, and it's important for us to be able to express it and to develop the character trait of gratitude. And that leads us to the third point, which is, why do we have to be so grateful? Because we have to be grateful to the Almighty. The Almighty gave us life. The Almighty gave us a Torah that we can live our lives. He gives us our money, our livelihood, our possessions, whatever we have, our health, hopefully, all of these things, whatever we have to be grateful to the Almighty for all of that. And then another important idea is to be specific. As a Rabbi of small children, sometimes parents write me nice notes, and I greatly appreciate when they do. It's very sweet and kind of them. And one parent will write, thanks for everything, and another parent will write specifically, thank you for taking the time to talk to my child, for treating him, for helping him through the challenges he's having, etc., etc. So both notes are beautiful, and I appreciate it. But when someone is specific, that makes it more meaningful. And that's important for us to learn as well. And we actually see this in the Parsha from another way. Rabbi Cohn pointed out that the Sephardim, one of the commentaries says, we have, based upon the four languages of redemption in this week's Torah portion, that's why we drink 4 cups of wine on Pesach, on Passover by the Seder. And each of the languages of redemption, V'yitzesi, I'll take you out, V'yitzhalti, I will save you, V'ga'alti, I'll redeem you, V'lakachti, I will take you to be my people. Each one, says the Sephardim, teaches us a different good thing that God did for us. So the question is asked, why don't we just have 1 cup and remember all 4 things? Because we want to specify each and every one. And that's an important idea for us to be specific in our gratitude to the Almighty and to anybody else too. You come to somebody's house and you say, thanks for having me. Or how about you tell the wife, thank you so much for the delicious food you made. I loved the soup, the meat, everything was just great. And thanks for the company, and thank you for the comfortable accommodations. You're more specific. It makes it more real, and it's more meaningful, and it's more powerful, and develops our character trait of gratitude. Rav Gustman was a great rabbi in Israel, and he was from Vilna originally. And before World War II, he'd go for a walk with his Rebbe, Rabbi Chaim Isaac Grzhansky. And Rabbi Chaim Isaac, for some odd reason, would go for walks with him in the forest and show him which plants were edible and which were not. And he never understood why he did that, but he did. Then World War II came, and he escaped when the Germans took over Vilna, and he escaped into the forest and lived there. And then he remembered the lesson that his rabbi taught him, and which plants were edible and which plants were not. And he did an interesting thing to show gratitude to the plants. He moved to Israel, became a dean of a yeshiva, survived the war, thank God, and moved to Israel and opened up a yeshiva. And he had a small little garden in front of the yeshiva that he would water all the time. And they asked him, why are you wasting time watering, the garden? And he said, because I owe my life to the plants back in Vilna that my Rebbe showed me which ones were edible. So this is my small way of showing gratitude to the plants by taking care of these plants here. May we develop within ourselves the attitude of gratitude to things, people, and God for all the good things that they all do for us, and develop within ourselves an appreciation for everything that happens to us, from big to tiny, and say thank you in a specific way. Have a wonderful Shabbos, all the best.